Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Pardon my scarf, I just finished doing my makeup. Today's video is going to be a chit chat get ready with me video. I'm just going to talk about what I did with my life when I was single. I'm still single, meaning that I'm not married. So basically things that I did during my years that I wasn't courting or anything like that. So I'm just going to share that with you guys. This is good. This is me going. I try not to be too personal on my YouTube page, but I'm going to just open up a little bit for you guys just to know the things I did, you know, when I wasn't dating, how I improved my prayer life, like all the things you can actually do while you're a single woman. This video is for women. Guys can also learn. You can also learn. I'm sure you guys can learn as well, but I'm going to speak from a feminine point of view, so do enjoy the video. Also, I'm going to just do my makeup. So as I'm doing my makeup, I would be sharing these tips with you. I hope it's not too distracting, but I feel like it's like 2-in-1. You guys can learn makeup and you can also learn how I did my makeup, not learn makeup, and also learn from my life experiences. We can all learn. So anyway, if you like to know more, make sure you keep watching. Okay, so I don't know if I'll be putting like the names of the products that I'm using. I'm just going to be doing that. I'll put it here so that as in the video is not distracted. So I'm just going to be doing my makeup and I'm going to be telling you about my experience basically. Okay, so in 2011 I was in a relationship and that lasted for about 2 years, from like let's say 2009, and it was going quite well, but obviously God had better plans, so the relationship broke off. So when I stopped dating, I just told God that, you know what, when I ended that relationship, I just told God that I wasn't going to date anybody again except the person I'm going to get married to. And obviously I knew that, as in I was going to obey God, and whoever I said or whoever I felt was like in line with where it was taking me. Like, because personally I believe that marriage is a ministry. So wherever you decide to go on that journey with, definitely must be in accordance to God's will. So basically that's the decision I made in my heart. And it wasn't like, oh, before then I wasn't a born again or anything. I was a born again. Like, I knew God. So I knew that whoever the person I was going to date with was obviously going to be higher than my level, someone that was deeply rooted in God, you know, someone that I did not need to baby and all that. So I told God that I wasn't going to date again, and that process took me about 3 years. So basically I was single for 3 years. So from 2012 to 2015 I wasn't dating anybody, and when I say 2012, I mean like early 2012 I'd been single. So during my single time, basically what did I do? How did I keep myself busy? How did I not feel left out? Now obviously because of my age group, like I was done with uni, I was doing my masters already here in Glasgow. Like, I was busy, but also it didn't change the fact that when I came back from class, I didn't want someone to FaceTime with. I didn't want someone to call. Obviously, like, being in a relationship with an amazing person is like one of the best feelings ever. Like, having someone that cares for you. I mean, someone that, you know, just companionship basically. That's the purpose of relationships and growth. So I obviously wanted that. I mean, like, practically all my friends then were dating. Like, everyone I knew was in a relationship. Everyone what I knew had a boo, as in people were even talking about engagements. Then my mates were already getting married. I had like 3 girls from my class that got in from my year when I was in uni, that undergrad, that gotten married. So like it was already becoming quite what would I call it? Peer pressure definitely set in. But during this time, this was when I got really so close to God. You remember that I told you in my video that till today I strongly believe that, you know, God molds us in our solitude. Basically, if you open your heart to God, and like when you're single, that's when God will step in and really do that work in us, basically, because there are no distractions. You have a clear vision of what you want. Like, even in that time, even if you don't have a clear vision of what you want in a future partner, like a man, you know that you know that, okay, you the more time you spend with yourself, you know your temperaments more, you know what makes you happy, you know what you find attractive. So basically in that time, I'm not going to sound overly zealous or anything, I started reading books. Like, maybe because I was so bored, or you know, that's when I had more time to spend on the internet. So I started researching like role models, like women that I really like. I knew that obviously whoever it is, the person that I was going to date, like, as in, I won't say I was preparing myself for a relationship. I was preparing myself for where God had called me for. I was preparing myself for a better version of myself, basically. So I was preparing myself for my kingdom assignment. It wasn't really about me to date. Obviously, then if I'd met someone that I really liked, or I really felt the person was aligning with my own goals, obviously maybe I would have said yes, but I didn't. So I didn't even have the time. I wasn't even looking. So if the person was there, probably even I never saw the person. During these times, I learned how to not be restless. I learned how to spend more time with myself. I learned that, you know, that when you spend more time with yourself, you know the kind of person that you really are. You realize that some things that you even thought you liked, you don't like them. You find you're easily irritable. You begin to even see your own flaws, because I mean, you begin to see your areas of growth and all that. So basically that's what I was doing in that time. So yeah, so during that time I started reading books. It was also in this time that I discovered who Heather Lindsay was. If you don't know who Heather Lindsay is, like, I'll definitely link her channel down below. Her Instagram handle should also be floating somewhere on this screen. That's how I found out who she was. I read about her story. That's also when I found out who Sarah Jakes was. That's when I started building my library. In that year, I'm not even exaggerating, both ebooks and proper books, I probably bought about 20 books. And I was just reading. And you know, I mean, living in the UK, books are not so expensive. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy ebooks. You can borrow. So that's when I found out who Heather Lindsay was. I first of all bought like 2 of her books, Pink Lips and Empty Hearts. That book really helps me, because it's a foundational book. I advise you, that's her first book, so I advise, like, if you're just a newly born again, that should be one of the first books for you to read, because it really talks about being a woman. It talks about, like, you know, just basically being whole, besides having a man in your life or having a partner or anything that has to do with dating. Just yourself, you know. It really purged my soul. We talked about how most women, like, we're speaking in tongues, we want good men, whereas with our boyfriends we're having premarital sex, like we're making out, we're doing all those things. And before I go ahead, also in this time I figured out, I began to have personal convictions about intimacy, what intimacy was. This was also the time where I learned that, you know, it's not just enough for, I mean, not everyone has sex with someone that they're not married to. So it might not necessarily be about the sex. You might not have sex with your partner or your boyfriend before marriage, but then you're doing all your other in between. You guys are making out, you're having oral sex, you're just doing everything else. But then, you know, you still wake up in the morning and 2 of you are still doing morning devotion together. It's just about that period I learned that, you know, God cannot be mocked, and that, as in, there's no lukewarm. Like, even like the Bible says, like, God prefers for you to even completely be in sin and not even know Him, than for Him to know Him and be acting lukewarm. So that period I really learned a lot. I learned a lot about, you know, what exactly is intimacy, what exactly is permissible, what does God accept, what is purity, what is holiness. Is purity not just, oh, I'm not doing anything physical with my boyfriend, purity of the mind. So during that period I did that. Another thing I obviously did was I heavily invested in my career. Like, oh my gosh, that was when, like, I did all the online courses. That was when I started reading books on what I wanted to do in my life. I mean, obviously I was doing my master's, as I said earlier, so I was really spending time. I was doing really well in school. Like, my grades were 70s and above. I was really doing really well, because then I was more focused. Like, I've shared with you guys before my academic experience in my undergrad. Maybe I'll do that will be another story time that I'll do, when I practically failed. Like, I failed to stupor. When I failed so much. So maybe I'll do another story time video of how I overcame that and how God really helped me to sort that. I think I'll do my mascara after I do my foundation. Yeah, so let me get my foundation. What was I saying? Yeah, so also in this time, like, I really learned all these things. I was doing well, like, with my business. Okay, yeah, that was when I started brainstorming how much I needed to save to start a business. I started brainstorming. Okay, I'm just checking if the thing was still recording. I'm just putting on primer now. Yeah, that's when I started brainstorming like what kind of business I wanted to do. Did I want to go into the beauty industry? That's when I started developing my blog. As in, obviously before I decided that I wasn't gonna date, a year before this I had changed. My blog has always been about fashion and beauty, but I mean, of course, when I became really born again, when I became so rooted in the Word of God, I knew that also in myself I realized that I could care less about fashion. Like, I like looking good, I like makeup, but there's more to me beyond that. Those things they're empty things, they're vanity. So I mean, there was no point investing so much time into that. So I knew that God wanted to use me for evangelism. God wanted to use me for the gospel of Christ. Now, this when I say during that year, don't get me wrong. During that year is obviously from 2012 to like 2014. So during those years, rather, I was able to. I mean, Christmas came and went. I did not have I was bayless. Obviously, like, I had guys that had interest in me. I mean, I think I'm an interesting woman. So obviously, like, there were guys, I had people in my life that I was talking to. Obviously, I knew that I wasn't gonna date them. I wasn't leading them on. I just had friends. People used to surprise me with gifts. Like, I wasn't lonely. That's another thing I want to talk about. I wasn't lonely during this time. I had male friends. I had female friends. Like, I was just enjoying my life. Even when I got lonely, I'm from a family where we're very close knit. So my brothers were there. My brother was already in Canada, so I mean, FaceTime wasn't such a big deal. I would call him up, we would crack. So you can also like get close to your relations during this time. You can meet new people. You can join groups. So as I said, like, I improved my blog. Like, in the blogger community, I met so many people. I met one fantastic girl. Her name is Hannah. She's like one of my best friends till today. I met Chinomso, she's a Christian blogger. I'll try and pull all their blogs here. I met Tomilola Escada. I really networked this time. Like, I wasn't in Nigeria, but I was making waves online. When I say waves, this was when I got featured in so many, because I was being excellent at that period. So I feel like when you're being excellent in like the things that you're passionate about, you begin to get recognized. Like, people begin to know you. You're not just a blogger that only your friends and family or whatever you do. I'm using blogger because I mean, I was a blogger then. Like, only your friends and family like knew your blog. People were actually going to check. That was when like I started doing my business. Like, there's so many things you can do, like in your season of singlehood. One thing I'll definitely emphasize is for you to equip yourself. Instead of frolicking around men, instead of frolicking about one guy that you think you like, instead of spending idle time leading men on, like, when I say leading men or leading a guy on, instead of, wasting your virtues, like, why are you cooking for someone that you're not dating and the guy obviously likes you? Why are you cooking for him? Why are you washing his clothes? Why is the guy spending so much time in your flats? Like, you shouldn't entertain it. Basically, that's what I think. I feel you can have friendships, you can have obviously male friends, but let there be clear boundaries. Don't let someone be acting like a boyfriend when he's not. I don't even like using the word boyfriend, but don't let someone role play a role that you know that they're not suitable for. Like, you're just wasting your virtues. That's what I would call it. So I mean, so during that time, like, obviously, like, I had male friends, I have male colleagues that also came for their masters, but there were boundaries set. They know that when it's 8 o'clock like this, nobody can come to my apartment. You know that you can't come too early. You can't even call me too early. And it doesn't mean that I was being sussy or I was being feisty. It was just mean that I was just protecting myself. Like, the Bible says you flee from all appearances of evil. The moment you begin to spend time with a guy, physical attractions will come inside. Especially when you guys have, like, you guys, before you know it, he's sleeping off on your couch. Before you know it, you two are laying on his chest. Like, just inappropriate. So that's basically what I was doing that period. Then what else did I think I want to talk about during that period? Yeah, I talked about networking, I talked about reading books, I talked about academics, I talked about developing your business ideas, finding spiritual mentors. I met Sarah Jakes, I bought all their books, as I said before. So those were some of the things that I did. Let me think again. What else did I do? Obviously, yeah, I improved my makeup application skills. Like, I became more healthy and that's when, like, I don't know if you used to watch my blog or even my YouTube channel. If you look back, that's when I started, like, I knew that, I went to a boarding school when I was growing up. Then from boarding school I went to I went to really private schools that basically, I won't say we were sports, but like I did not really know how to cook per se. My mom taught me, but obviously with cooking, practice gets better. With practice you get better. So during this time I decided to start cooking. I started filming YouTube videos on jollof rice, efo riro. All them things. I I just basically started doing that, and that really helped. Like now my cooking game is better. Like I learned how to cook. Basically what I'm trying to say is that during your time of singleness, like one thing you really want to do is to improve the woman that you are. Like don't waste your time. Like if you want to lose weight this time, because when you have kids it's going to be like you will struggle when you don't need to. If you want to be a better homemaker, learn it. If you want to be more tidy, learn it. If you want to be a better cook, do it. Like if you want to be a business mogul, start. Like just, I mean, like I feel like this time you cannot just afford to just be wallowing in pity and say, oh, I don't have a boyfriend, or I don't have a fiance or whatever, however it's pronounced, or so I'm just going to school. Like you can have a wholesome life balance. You can treat yourself, you can go out, you can develop your own sense of style. You can realize that, okay, you know what, I have a pear-shaped body, this kind of clothes don't suit me. I mean, you're just basically, it's just called self-development. That really, and also you can develop your spiritual gifts. That's another amazing thing. One thing I learned, as in obviously I told you guys, if you checked out my salvation story, the link should obviously be somewhere here, is that I could always speak in tongues, as soon as I received this gift of speaking in tongues when I gave my life to Christ. So another thing that I know that I learned during that time is obviously the gift of prayer, how to stay long in prayer. Now I don't believe that, I mean, God answers prayers by, you know, us praying for 3 hours or anything, but like literally spending time in prayer, you can improve your prayer lifestyle, you can improve your praise, you can learn how to improve your patience, like waiting on God. You can, I mean, I'm not saying that all these things you cannot do it when you're in a relationship, but I'm saying that if peradventure you find yourself as a single woman, this is something that you can definitely, you know, work on. You can I mean, I truly believe that when you're single and you're not in a relationship, you can improve more. You can, I mean, you're just thinking about yourself. You don't have to make decisions because of anybody. I mean, when you're married, for instance, when you want to pray, you might have to consider if your husband had a long day back from work. You know, you may not want to be, you know, rebushing and scabashing in the confines of your bedroom. I need to get a prayer room, or, you know, just being, you don't have to be constrained by another human. I just feel like there's nothing as amazing as developing yourself, developing like your, how would I put it, there's a word I'm trying to look for, but anyway, you know, like your types of maturity, for instance, like the ones I said. There's just nothing like developing on those skills when you're not in any committed relationship. It's really great to do those things. So I feel like, I mean, during our times of singleness, like these are things that we can obviously try and work on, and not just, you know, as I said, wallow in all this unnecessary things. Like I just feel like when I meet people that are not dating and they're like, oh, I don't have anybody, like, you not being in a relationship does not mean that you lack purpose, does not mean that you cannot achieve purpose, does not mean that, oh, your life is suboptimal or you should live below. I mean, it does not mean that you cannot live a fulfilling life. For heaven's sake, if God, do you love God to the extent that if He tells you that you should dedicate your life to Him, to a life of singleness, like Paul, like never get married, are you that selfless enough that you be like, God, your wish is my command? Or you be like, ah, no, I need a man in your life? God wants us to get to the point of, if we do not have a spouse, if we do not have a man in our life, like, we will still serve Him. So I think that's really important. I feel like those are some of the things that you can do. I hope that this video was, I know this video is obviously going to be long because it's a chatty video. Maybe if I had just done a video without me doing my makeup, maybe it would have been shorter. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was edifying. I hope that, I mean, you can share this video with somebody. So I mean, if you'd rather me do more of these videos, do let me know. I mean, I feel it's like a 2-in-1. You can see how I get my makeup on, and also we can all learn together. Or if you'd rather just have me sit still like a pretty girl and just make these videos, definitely also let me know. What else do I want to talk about? As always, I'll always ask you, like, if you have questions, or as in people that send me mails, you know, I try to reply, even if I take like 2 days, but I'll still reply. I try to reply comments as well. I feel I prefer comments to emails. Why? Because with comments, more people can, I mean, learn. Someone can go to a comment box and, you know, ask a question and everyone will answer. I would answer. And also I feel like with comments, you can also get to share your own opinion about this video. So like the last video I made, Valencia, she's one of my favorite subscribers because I love all the ideas that she gives me. She made a comment in the last video about how like the video talking about how a 24-year-old girl was feeling single, and she really encouraged the girl, and she told her to find herself in God. And I really love that because I mean, I know that I have fantastic worded followers, so you also can add value and not just me just sitting here talking. So basically, this is my makeup look. I'm just going to wear some lip liner now so my lip doesn't look ashy. If I can, I'm looking for a color purple, but this will do. So yeah, this is basically my look. I'm just going to add some blush and style my hair. I'm going to the bank now. What am I going to? Yeah, I'm going out. Obviously, don't ask me if you're wearing all this makeup for bank. You should even be happy I'm wearing makeup. So yeah, I'm going out now. Then I'm supposed to have lunch with my partner. So yeah. So basically, this is my look. I hope it looks nice on camera, and I hope I went from 0 to 100. If you think I did, I beg, leave a comment. And if you think there's anything I can improve on, if you think like I went from 0 to 100, please let me know. I'm just wearing blush now. This blush is by, I'm sure like when I'm editing this video, I would put the names of where I got everything from, but this blush is from RAISIN by MAC. Yeah, so I'm just quickly blending in the contour that I did. Yeah. So I don't look scary. I just put this in my inner tear ducts just to make my eyes look a bit yeah. So yeah, that's the same highlight. I'm just putting on my cupid's bow. I think the sun is going down. That means I should wrap up this video. Yep. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to comment, to subscribe, to like, to share. And yeah, I'll see you guys some other time. If you have any video suggestions, as I always ask you, make sure you put them down in the description box below. I love you so much. God bless you, and have a lovely week ahead. Bye.